500 million years ago, Earth was a very different place. The oceans stretched vast and empty, teeming with only the smallest microscopic life. But this barren world would soon explode with the unimaginable, creatures like nothing you've ever seen, hunting, evolving, and battling for survival in ways that seem almost impossible. Welcome to the ancient, brutal seas, the birthplace of Earth's most terrifying predators. The stage was set for a battle unlike any other, and it all started here. In the chaotic waters of these primordial seas, sharks emerged not as the sleek, efficient hunters we know today, but as evolutionary experiments. Early sharks were strange, bizarre, and often armed with terrifying adaptations. Picture this: sharks with thick, bony armor plating covering their bodies, turning them into walking tanks of the sea. Others sported teeth that looked nothing like the slicing tools of modern sharks, wide, serrated, and perfect for crushing. The sea was a violent place, and these sharks weren't just surviving, they were evolving into ruthless predators. Take the hybidus, a bizarre early shark with fin spines that made it look like something out of a nightmare. With these jagged features and an ability to hunt in packs, they reigned as apex predators in their time. Their hunting methods were aggressive. Many sharks would corner schools of fish together and then strike with terrifying speed and precision. Then there were the bite and hold sharks. These predators wouldn't just snap and release, they would latch onto their prey and drag it deeper into the ocean, suffocating or tearing it apart. Their powerful jaws were capable of inflicting unimaginable damage, able to cut through bone, crushing even the hardest of prey. Sharks weren't just evolving, they were becoming the ocean's terror, defining their place in the food chain. While sharks ruled the open waters, another monster lurked in the darker depths of the oceans, Mosasaurus. This giant marine reptile wasn't built for the wide open ocean, but thrived in the deep, dark waters. At over 50 feet long, it had a serpentine body, a tail built for power, and jaws that could snap shut with bone-crushing force. Unlike sharks, Mosasaurus wasn't concerned with speed or stealth. It was a brute force predator, using its immense size and power to overwhelm its prey. It stalked the deeper waters, hunting fish, marine reptiles, and even sharks. Agile in the water, it could strike with lightning speed, catching anything within its reach. A Mosasaurus was not a predator that played fair. Its jaw could clamp down with such intensity that it could crush its prey with a single bite, making it an apex predator of the deep. But while the Mosasaurus ruled the depths, the shallows were home to another equally terrifying beast, the Plesiosaurus. With its giraffe-like neck and flippers instead of legs, the Plesiosaurus wasn't the fastest swimmer, but its long neck made it a master of ambush hunting. Imagine a creature with a body built like a seal, but with a neck so long it could reach out and snatch prey from an almost impossibly far distance. These long necks were nature's perfect fishing pole, swift, precise, and deadly. Whether hunting fish or smaller marine reptiles, plesiosaurs used their extended necks to snap up prey without even needing to get close. Their bizarre, somewhat comical appearance belied their hunting efficiency, making them deadly predators in the shallow seas. Meanwhile, in the coastal rivers and swamps, another force of nature ruled, the mega crocodile. Picture a crocodile the size of a school bus, its jaws capable of exerting the force of an industrial press. Deinosuchus, one of the most fearsome crocs to ever live, stretched up to 40 feet long and didn't just wait by the water's edge. It was a predator of patience, lurking in the murky depths until an unsuspecting animal wandered too close. These ancient crocs weren't picky. They hunted anything that crossed their path. Smaller fish, turtles, even marine reptiles were not safe from their deadly bite. The mega crocs didn't need to chase. They would wait, motionless, blending in with their surroundings. Then, in a flash of terrifying speed, they'd strike, pulling their prey into the deep. In the shadows of the deep, there were creatures so fearsome that even the toughest predators feared them. Enter the saber-toothed sea giants, fish like Onychodus that had elongated, razor-sharp fangs capable of slicing through the toughest flesh. These bizarre fish weren't the biggest predators, but they made up for it with sheer efficiency. Even stranger was the Stethocanthus, a shark-like fish with an odd comb-shaped fin. While it might have looked weird, it was deadly. The fin acted like a trap, corralling fish into its deadly jaws. When it came to hunting, the Stethocanthus had a one-of-a-kind strategy, using its bizarre features to capture prey before it even realized it was in danger. But of all the saber-toothed giants, there was one predator that stood above the rest: Dunkleosteus. This ancient fish was a living tank, armored, massive, and armed with scissor-like jaws that could crush bone. Dunkleosteus wasn't just a predator, it was a force of nature, ruling the seas with an unstoppable combination of brute strength and terrifying speed. The seas, already filled with titans, held even more horrors beneath the surface. Giant squids, prehistoric cousins of today's colossal squid, swam the depths, their massive tentacles reaching out with terrifying speed. These creatures were the stuff of legends. The Kraken, a monster capable of pulling entire ships into the abyss. The reality behind the Kraken was no less terrifying. These giant squids, with tentacles as long as buses, had the strength to drag even the largest whales beneath the waves. Their powerful beaks could crush bone, and their eyes were the size of dinner plates, capable of seeing in the inky blackness of the deep. Sailors of the past had to reckon with these terrifying creatures, and it's no surprise that stories of sea monsters grew out of these encounters. While legends like the Megalodon and Mosasaurus dominate our understanding of ancient sea monsters, there were countless deadly fish that have slipped through the cracks of history. Fish like the megalopiranha, a giant solitary predator that could crush bone and shred flesh with its deadly jaws. Unlike modern piranhas, this beast didn't hunt in packs. It was a lone terror, capable of taking down any creature unlucky enough to cross its path. When it comes to ancient sea monsters, none is as legendary or as terrifying as the megalodon. Growing up to 60 feet long and weighing over 60 tons, the megalodon ruled the oceans with its massive size and jaw-crushing bite. Its teeth were designed not to slice, but to crush, ripping through bone and tearing apart prey with terrifying efficiency. The megalodon was more than a predator, it was a myth in the making. Sailors spoke of monstrous sharks that could drag entire ships under the waves. Were these tales based on encounters with real creatures like the megalodon, or did the sheer terror it inspired give birth to legends of sea monsters? These ancient sea monsters, once the undisputed rulers of the oceans, eventually faded into extinction. The megalodon, the Dunkleosteus, and the marine reptiles like the Mosasaurus vanished from the seas, leaving behind only fossilized traces of their reign. But why did they disappear? Was it the result of mass extinctions, climate changes, or the slow evolution of the oceans into something unrecognizable to these ancient beasts? The reasons for their extinction are as mysterious as their existence, but one thing is clear: their legacy lives on. The oceans we know today still carry their mark. From the apex predators of today to the ecosystems they helped shape. These creatures may have vanished, but their influence remains in the deep, a haunting reminder that the oceans still hold mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And perhaps, somewhere, lurking in the deep, the descendants of these ancient giants still haunt the dark waters, their terrifying legacy alive beneath the waves. Imagine a world where these monstrous creatures never went extinct. What if the oceans were still ruled by predators like the megalodon, the Dunkleosteus, or the colossal mosasaurs? Suddenly, your average beach day would turn into a survival of the fittest competition. Forget sunscreen, you're going to need a good escape plan. If these ancient titans still roam the waters, the way we see the ocean would never be the same. It would become a giant, watery battleground where every dip in the pool could be your last. You're not just swimming with sharks anymore. Now you're swimming with things that could eat your whole family in one bite. Talk about killer whales, am I right? Modern technology, like submersibles and drones, would be in way over their heads. The ocean would go from a peaceful getaway to a place you only visit in nightmares. And you can forget about the survival strategies of today's sea creatures. They'd have to step up their game fast. A dolphin might need to start taking self-defense classes, and fish would have to master the art of hide and don't get eaten. Humans, too, would need to rethink their relationship with the ocean. Forget surfing. Maybe we'd all just start practicing speed swimming, or better yet, take up competitive running on land. Would we fear the seas, or would we continue to dive in, braving the unknown for the thrill of it? I guess we could always send the people who owe us money into the water first and see how they do. But really, could we coexist with these ancient predators? Or would we just end up being their snack? It's like trying to cohabit with a lion. If the lion was, 50 feet long and had a taste for human flesh. One thing's for sure, the legacy of these prehistoric beasts would change history forever. The oceans would no longer be a mysterious, peaceful world to explore. They'd be a brutal kingdom ruled by prehistoric predators. You'd need a dangerous creatures subscription just to get into the water. The line between myth and reality would blur faster than you can say, Meg. And somewhere, deep down in the abyss, they're still there. Lurking, waiting, hoping you'll take just one more swim. Just remember, if you ever find yourself in the ocean, try not to scream too loud. You might attract their attention. And we don't want that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed diving into the deep with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more.